Of course, full spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen Endgame yet and don't want to know what happens, then I highly suggest that you turn off now. Disney did a wealth of fake trailers, so you probably don't know as much as you think, and the film deserves to be seen unspoiled. This is your last chance to back out, but if you're still here, thank you for clicking the video, I hope you enjoy it. Now let's get into the full plot breakdown of Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame opens with Hawkeye training his daughter with a bow and arrow at a picturesque family picnic before they themselves are made targets and are mercilessly taken out by the snap. Instantly, this grounds the film and reminds you that even heroes who haven't had anything to do with the Infinity War have been left victims by it. We then cut to Tony and Nebula adrift in space, with the former recording his message to Pepper. Tony falls asleep and awakens to see Captain Marvel outside of the ship, who helps them return to Earth, which is where they meet up with the rest of the survivors. The film doesn't feature the post-credits scene from Captain Marvel's standalone movie, so from that we can guess that she arrived on Earth and then heard Tony was missing and spent the rest of the time searching for them in space. Now, we'd heard rumours that Tony and Nebula may get out of the situation using Anulax batteries that Rocket stole in Guardians 2, so I think this feels like a bit of a disservice to Tony's ingenuity. Being rescued by Captain Marvel instead of saving themselves is the only criticism with the film that I have though, and I suppose it speeds up the character introductions. The movie then follows the surviving Avengers attempting to track down Thanos, whose location is given away by Nebula because she knows of a garden that he said he would retire to upon completing his final goal. They want to get the gauntlet back no matter the cost and reverse the snap. Tony, however, doesn't want to be part of it, and this film expertly showcases Downey's range of emotions when acting, and you get the feeling that he just wants to leave it all behind and start again. The rest of the group journey to Thanos' planet and arrive to find him alone, and he informs them that he used the gauntlet to destroy the stones because he doesn't want anyone to change his decision. The look of this scene is ripped straight out of the comics, even down to the fruit that Thanos collects, and it's an amazing Easter egg. Unfortunately for Thanos, the second power surge nearly killed him and he's very weak. Thor goes for the head this time, killing him in the process, and they return to Earth, which is when we fast forward 5 years. At this point, the world is in complete disrepair. Everything is run down, and those who've been left behind are bitter, and there are rumours that Hawkeye is acting as a vigilante and massacring gangs. Whilst the Avengers still operate, many of them are broken, especially Black Widow, and you get the feeling that she would do anything to set the world straight again, which plays into her character arc and eventual sacrifice. Captain Marvel returns to space as many other planets are destroyed, and we get a nice little Joe Russo cameo at the survivors meeting held by Captain America. Cut to Louise's van, which is inside a storage unit, and after a rat crawls over the quantum controls, Scott is freed. We follow him as he walks the streets, confused as to why everything looks like 28 days later, before he arrives at a memorial with all of the names of the vanished on a large stone. After reuniting with his daughter and discovering what's happened, he goes to the only place he knows that can make a difference, Avengers HQ. After telling them about the quantum realm and its time manipulation possibilities, they visit Tony to ask for help, but he turns them down as he's happy with life. Bruce has also become Professor Hulk, and he helps the Avengers build a machine to find the stones in the past. Unfortunately, the machine is faulty, so Scott can't go back, which is when Tony returns, giving Cap his shield and stating that he will help. What I love about this section is that it showcases that Stark can't rest when he knows something is wrong. Watching Downey Jr. grapple with the choice of losing the life he loves or granting one for everyone else is inspired, and he really becomes the hero of the film from this point onwards. Together they recruit the rest of the Avengers, including Hawkeye, War Machine, Rocket, Nebula and Thor, who looks like he was ripped straight out of The Big Lebowski. They travel through time to different parts of Avengers history, and there are some amazing callbacks, cameos and an incredibly heart-touching moment between Tony and his father in which they discuss parenting. A young Stan Lee also makes an appearance, as well as Peggy Carter, Hank Pym, Zola, the Avengers, Director Pierce and more. Jarvis as well, I had to add that in because damn, that moment was just amazing. I've seen some critics say that this segment is far too full of fan service, but honestly, when it's at this level, it's absolutely amazing. Everything feels perfect, and even the most obscure reference, such as Cap saying Hail Hydra, gets a nod. This section allows each character to realise what they've lost and what they're fighting for, and I love the emotional loss that Thor feels when meeting his mother on the day that she would die, balanced with the comedic dancing of Peter Quill in the opener of Guardians. It's also at this point that the main threat of Thanos returns. Whilst Marvel teased an even bigger threat than Thanos, they were ultimately fooling us depending on how you look at it. Younger Thanos is perhaps more bloodthirsty